Hello, I'm Daisy and thank you for joining me here on my channel. You are in my How to Learn Tarot playlist, and so here we are. We have been going through the Fool's Journey on the Major Arcana. So the tarot consists of 78 cards and there are 22 that are called the Major Arcanas. And the symbols and imagery on there really have a sense that they could represent the metaphor for us as we're going through that process through life, in that whole journey and the different challenges that we go through as we try to seek enlightenment. So that is where we're at right now. It's really come full circle. A lot of great experiences. Hopefully you had a chance to enjoy this with me, enjoy this journey, and maybe make some correlations to moments in your life that you've had the Tower, or maybe you've had the Moon aspect, or maybe the era where there was the Justice or the Emperor. I could tell you that I connect with that, and I see some of those moments in my life too. So I'm using my professional deck here, but this is the Rider-Waite version, and this is the Everyday Tarot version. Again, just a small little showing you how the same card can have different feel and look to it, where this card is very monochrome in color. Here we have vibrance of colors and different way to depict the same thing. So it's important that you kind of take time when you're looking at a tarot or a deck of cards and go through and see what the images feel like to you before you start looking at what the author's interpretation of those are. And you'll find out that you're probably right on point with many of these things. Okay, so let's just jump into pretty much, and I'll have the posted here so you can kind of take a look, because I have a tendency to move around too much. Okay, so what we're going to do is go right into the numeral aspect here, the number 21. And so with the number 21, what we're looking at is friendships, loyalty, versatility, society, community, and that type of vibration that we get from the number 21. And when we take this now and we take this number down to its core, which is 2 plus 1 gives you a 3, we're going down to that basic energy and vibration of the number 3, which has to do with the number 3, which has to do with manifesting. It has to do with the divine spark, creativity, and ascended masters. So we could see how, as you take this big accumulation of friendship, and we take this versatility in society, and we bring it down to that last lesson we've got to learn. It takes us down to that core, right down to what is the divine spark, the beginning. Isn't that something? Isn't that interesting? Even though it's the number 3, it has a lot of energy and vibration. So now let's take a look at some of the other associations that we have with the World card. And as we've gotten here, this is represented by the planet Saturn. And the planet Saturn is about order and authority, structure and completions. So we have that going on. Also, another association that is here, Saturn is associated with the element of Earth and the zodiac of Capricorn. So these are associated with this card, the World, which also allows us to make more associations as far as time periods. This could be the winter of one's life, or literally could mean that the season of winter as well. And the angelic association is made with Archangel Uriel, and the cardinal direction is north. So we have all these other associations that we make and we can bring in as we're drawing this card into play. Let's look at some of the elements here. We first look at the woman's pose here. And so when we see the woman here, we are seeing a couple things. It's like an imagery is coming to our mind when we were on the journey initially and we came across the Hanged Man. See the pose? This is the pose right side up, but when we take a little better look, we see the similar pose here. So in here before, where the Fool had come across the Hanged Man, and the lessons here, they hadn't mastered much. And he was kind of just hanging out, not sure, just kind of chilling, letting things happen. But now, at this level, there is mastery. There is spiritual mastery. There is enlightenment, happening here. There is knowledge from these experiences that we learned long time ago. It seems like ages from that number, from the number 12. And isn't that funny when you think about that? The number 12, 1 plus 2 is 3, and here 2 plus 1 is 3. So there is interesting how we are making these correlations that we didn't have all these experiences, but we were allowing the universe, we were allowing God to guide us and hanging out in that space. But we've mastered it here at a different level now. But it's the same numbers coming down to that basic number of the number 3. Isn't that something? Okay, so then some of the other things that we see here in the hand, we see 2 wands. Where was that we saw wands before? We saw the wands over here at the beginning of the journey. And see that there? So we had 1 wand in one hand. We had the ability to wield some divine knowledge, some divine spark. We had access to that. Well, guess what happens now? We now have mastery. We understand our wholeness, that we are one with God. We are clearly understanding that now at this level of enlightenment. And another thing that confirms that is this beautiful, beautiful sash. It's a purple sash that this person is here wearing, which is a sign that you've been included and have been brought into the fold. You're part of the kingdom royalty, and you are here, and you're also tapping into this feminine authority of creation. So now, one with our Heavenly Father, and here you're part of that regal court, and you're showing that you are worthy to be here in this circle. Talking about the circle, that's here represented by the wreath. And here we are, the cycle of life, the end of a journey, and guess what? It also signals the beginning of a new one. The other thing I wanted to share was there is a very similar theme here that we did see back at the Magician. We see this figure 8, the divinity sign, on top of the Magician. Well, guess what? We see it not only once, but we see how this ribbon is on the wreath, and it's on there twice. So it's tied to the wreath, and first we saw that the Magician was holding it, had it over his head, but here now the wreath is encompassed in this spiritual, eternal fountain of wisdom and divinity, and the consciousness and unconsciousness coming together, forming this whole body of one, all into this enveloped, wreath of knowledge and wisdom. Then the other thing that we have that we saw that was recurring was very similar. We see at the corners of the card, we see these, let's see how I can hold it. We see these things popping up in here. And again, we saw it at the Wheel of Fortune, and now we see it at the World, where this could represent, the 4 elements, earth, water, air, and fire, or the 4 suits. Could be the swords, cups, wands, and pentacles, or could also mean the 4 corners of the earth, which is in the Bible as well. So that could be represented there. Some authors would say that these are the 4 zodiacs: Leo, Taurus, Aquarius, and Scorpio. So there you have it on that. So when we come back to a couple other things that we're seeing here, we also see some of the energy when we look at the number 3 and all that came in from that creativity from the Empress, because we could draw on that energy. 2 plus 1 is 3. We look back at this journey, and We didn't master the lessons that can only be gained when we go through those experiences. And then, so we had this, and then 21 minus 3 takes us to the moon, another female energy about nurturing and also freeing ourselves from the world of illusion. And so we did that when we came here at the moon and prepared us moving forward to this place, because one of the things that have happened is we crossed over. Once we crossed over that death card, once we went past those illusions, then we dealt with the issues that were hiding deep inside of us, and we became, you know, bare and excited to just, you know that the end is near, and we have learned so much, and it was confirmed at the judgment. Again, here we are, bare, just saying, God, here I am. I've learned my lessons. I am, to you goes the glory. I am here for whatever this transformation is in store, whatever you have for me, in whatever transformation you want to create. I am here. I am willing. I am one with you to create and do. And here you are in your beauty, just wielding everything, that knowledge that is in the conscious realm and in the unconscious. So how do we use this knowledge that we see on the symbols when we're doing a reading? So as the querent here, basically, what you want to share with them is that there is a sense of completion, that there is a lot of spiritual maturity and appreciation for this journey and the freedom, and also that there's a potential here that people now see you as a leader, and they are willing to actually listen to you, because there is wisdom in what you are sharing, and there's a sense of fulfillment, and you're going to be rewarded for whatever is happening in your life now and appreciated for that. Again, there is also a sense of personal power, and that you have the ability and these achievements that you've made from accomplishing, and it feels really good to be in that situation finally, and realizing your goals. That is what we have here, to enjoy the present moment and to just savor this place that you find yourself in, because there's always ready for that new beginning. So let's go ahead and put it on the reverse. And what does it mean when this card shows up upside down? Well, it could be that you're resistant to change. You're resistant to the shift, and possibly that you're stubborn, or maybe that you're frustrated with a situation that is just not happening, and that you need to find a new approach, or that things may be stagnant. It also could be that you are lacking goals here, that you're not moving forward, and your drive is just not there. You lost your mojo. Could be that there are some delays also in that the victory, but you still need to work some things out before you get there. Or it could be that you need to restore your will, and you need to find that energy that drives you again. So, but victory is not that far if you reconnect with that spirituality again. Ta-da! Well, my friend, hopefully this has been not only entertaining, but also informative for you, as you've learned how to look at the different symbols and kind of put together the beautiful journey that the Fool has been able to go through. And we've been able to see the metamorphosis of this transformation of the Fool as he's gone through learning different skills and trying to connect to his spirituality and embracing the abundance of life and those different stages of life that we have, and gaining some structure and order as he's gone through life, and understanding that we need a sense of community and support and help from those that may have come before us, and that there is love to be had and to be shared in the world, and that we can master different things as we go through life and become better at that awareness of the destination. And that through all those things as we walk through life, that we can develop inner strength to deal with many things, and that it is okay to go back and sometimes recoup and find our way. And sometimes we need to do that on our own. At the same time, understand that as we become clearer in that solitude, we begin to see the magnitude of the possibilities and infinities of things that God has before us. And to know that to do the right thing when we need to do the right thing, even though no one is looking, is really important, because that truth and that balance will be put to the test. And the other thing is that sometimes we need to hang out in that place and have faith that God will work things out, that we have tried our very best as we're moving through life. And that time will come that we might need to let go of old ways, old things, old habits, old addictions, so that we can cross over to that promised land. And as we do that, we will be able to come through that in a way that we are replenished and we're renewed. And things become so much easier from a different perspective as we've learned to let go and to work with new things. But that might bring up new demons that we may have to deal with. And we begin to realize that those demons are not outside of us. They are by the way we think, by the fears that we hold, by the ignorance, by the hopelessness that we choose to see, by the way that we choose to stay in darkness. But we need to bring light. We need to bring light to dark areas so that we can grow out of it. And that might put us into a place that we're going to have to question our old beliefs. We're going to have to question what we were told in the past. We're going to have to question these ways. And we may find out that once that fire has settled and the ashes have cooled off, that we can find our way again, find our way renewed. And in that, it is okay to be ourselves. We're going to find ourselves, our true selves in that. And we're going to be renewed once again, drinking from the fountain of life, having the blessings of God above. And in that, given another opportunity to cast away our shadows, to cast away the fears of life. And in that, be renewed, have that rebirth and that joy that comes from being able to see all the beauty and to know that God has been there showing us the way right from the beginning. And judgment only belongs to Him. And if we've played our way right and have kept that faith and followed the path, the only answer is enlightenment. Hopefully you've enjoyed this tutorial and you've learned something new. If anything, have had an entertainment experience and time here with me. I do have a request. If you could please make sure you like my videos. Apparently the YouTube world likes to see those little like buttons, so I would appreciate that very much. And if you want and feel so inclined, share the video with your friends. Awesome. Subscribe to my channel. That way you'll get notified the next time I put up a video. Daisy signing out.